People, especially the youth, also are watching UDF with a little bit of suspicion, I guess, because the UDF agenda or the UDF campaign has also hinged on the Shabrimala issue to a great extent.
In all fairness, it's one of many issues. And
Okay.
it's an issue that definitely resonates with a large section of the voting public.
So the
But
party was forced to take down a video which was criticized for being misogynistic yesterday, only yesterday.
I'm not aware of that particular incident, and certainly I don't think any woman politician in Kerala would call me misogynistic. I've been a very strong backer of women in our society and in our politics, including for more women candidates. And I'm very proud that in my constituency, out of 7 candidates, including 2 incumbents and 1 recent incumbent, we have actually 2 women. So it's really a very positive thing the UDF believes in. I feel sorry, to be honest, if somebody did something foolish or something that required to be taken down. Then, as far as I'm concerned, mistakes happen in politics, and particularly in campaigns where lots of people are involved. But I'm not aware of this particular case. Let me just say on Shabrimala, we're not backing off our stand. Our stand is very clearly intended at honoring the believers and their beliefs. It is not about in any way being anti-women. In fact, the story of my own sort of reflections on this issue are well known to those who follow this. I actually wrote an article explaining my feelings, which is that when the court judgment first came, I talked about the importance of change and welcoming and so on. And then when I saw the backlash in my own constituency and across Kerala, I went silent for about a month. And during that month of silence, I was talking extensively, listening extensively to women. And I met women all over the place. I remember I had an official trip to Dubai. I sought out a group of Malayali women to talk to in Thiruvananthapuram. I would even go to wedding receptions and go to women and say, tell me what you think about this issue. I was very much in listening mode. And I was startled by the extent to which women told me that this was not a judgment they welcomed. An extraordinarily high percentage, I would say, in terms of the conversations I had, which is purely unscientific and random sampling, over 90% told me that our beliefs are such that if we want to worship Ayyappa, we can go to any other Ayyappa temple. But Shabrimala, we are willing to wait until we are 50. We have no problem with it. As far as we are concerned, the only ones who would want to go at this age are non-believers, and why should we accommodate them? And I heard this from woman after woman after woman. Often I made it a point to go to women when there were not other men in the group who might be in any way influencing their opinion. It was after 1 month of such conversations that I changed my stand and wrote publicly declaring why I had done so. I think Madhrumi carried my piece and a couple of other papers, and it was a matter of some controversy because a lot of women who felt that I was this kind of modern liberal rationalist should not be taking that position. But one of the things that really stuck in my mind was when I reflected about this is that the observation of Justice Indu Malhotra in her dissent that religion essentially has different rules. And it struck me, when you look, for example, at America, America is one of the most advanced societies when it comes to gender equality. You cannot open a club and say, yeah, women can become members, but they cannot be office bearers. And yet the Catholic Church can have women worshiping in the churches on an equal basis, but no woman can become a priest or a bishop. Now, no one is going to say that America is allowing a church to do something that a golf club cannot. Because the truth is America understands, American society understands, the legal system understands that the rules are different when matters of faith are involved. And that's all the Shabrimala believers want. They're just saying to us, respect our faith as a faith, don't apply rational rules of civil society to matters of faith. And I, for that reason, came around to strongly supporting the believers in Shabrimala, and I've done so ever since. So to my mind, that is a defensible position. It is not a misogynistic position. And in my case, speaking entirely personally, I arrived at my position entirely through listening to women. So on that issue, our stand is fixed. We're not going to deviate from it. But I will say, having had a major role in the manifesto consultations with the public, that Shabrimala was not the main issue, as your question implied. It was an issue. Many, many other issues spanning across all sorts of walks of life came up and got more attention and more prominence in my consultations.
Yeah.